What's up guys, Silver here with another Halo Master Chief Collection Achievement Guide. This time we're doing part 7 of A Monument to All Your Sins, which is complete every level of Halo Reach on Legendary by yourself. So start this mission up. This is a new Alexandria, and we are going to start off by getting in the Falcon. The building on the left here with the green icon that I'm shooting at, that's the Sonoviet Center. The one in the distance with the orange paneling on the top is the Virant Telecom Tower, and the one on the right that's kind of obscured by smoke right now is the hospital. It has a blue logo on it. So we're going to get one of those 3 buildings to start off here. It's totally random what you get assigned first. So we are going to go over here because we're being assigned the, not the Virant Telecom Tower, we're being assigned the Sonoviet Tower here. So we're going to go in here, and we're not going to land on the front where we're supposed to land. There's a nice green glowing pad, helipad over there that we're supposed to land on, but we could actually go in the back here. You can see there's this skeletal structure kind of in the back, and you can actually fly up through it, kind of like a rib cage in the back here. And you could actually get in, sneak behind all the enemies, and just lay into them with the Falcon here. So you probably don't even need to kill any of these enemies. You could actually just land and go into the elevator right away. But I like to just kill the brutes there and also the jackal with the focus rifle so I could have a little room to breathe there. But also you could see the helipad over there that I was shooting at, which is where you would come in through normally, but we came in through the back. So we're going to head into the elevator, activate the switch in the back. We'll head up here. So we don't have a jetpack at this point in the mission because we were randomly assigned this tower first. The 2 other main objectives actually have a jetpack, and you want to grab that. So if you grab that and have a jetpack at this point, I'll show you what to do. We want to have sprint in this tower in particular, but we want to have jetpack by the time we leave if we're bringing it in with us. So I'll just act like this armor lock power-up is a jetpack. Just make believe. And you want to go grab the sprint from that crate, and you want to put your jetpack down where that armor lock is, right in front of the elevator, because we're going to be sprinting past all of the buggers straight to the elevator once we activate the comm jammer, and we could actually switch out our sprint for the jetpack on our way back to the elevator before we hit the switch to go down. So that's what you would do if you had a jetpack. You'd switch it out for the sprint, place it in front of the elevator, and then you would kind of sprint over here once you activate the comm jammer and switch it out right before heading down. Grab the rockets right here on the ground. Also, there's more DMR ammo in the center here in the bottom mid, and then also there's more rockets by the elevator over here. So grab all that. We have 6 rockets now, and we have some health pack on the walls, kind of straddling the comm jammer here. Once your sprint is fully recharged, you want to activate the comm jammer, and then we're going to sprint in this direction, follow this path. There's a bugger that's going to come out of the wall over here, pop him in the head with the DMR, and we're going to continue to the elevator on the path that I mentioned earlier. We're going to grab the jetpack right before we get in the elevator if we have the jetpack there already. But we don't this time around, so we're just going to head into the elevator, go down, and get into the Falcon again. Those rockets and the jetpack are going to come into play at the end of the mission, so don't use any of the rockets. We're going to save those for the end of the mission. The final objective will be a lot easier with the rockets, so keep those in your back pocket. And there's more health in between the 2 elevators here if you need it. And we're going to kind of just hang here and wait for our first of 2 side objectives. You have your 3 main objectives, and then you have 2 side missions, which are totally random. They're actually chosen randomly from a list of 12 possibilities, so each time you play through this mission is probably not going to be the same as the last time you played. But I like to just hang in here in this building to wait for the objective to be assigned to me, so I don't have to worry about any banshees shooting at me. So we've been randomly assigned the destroy the anti-air and infantry objective that is over here on this loop-like building. It's not really a loop, but there's a big hole in the middle of the building, very hollowed out section over here, so pretty iconic looking, so easy to spot on the skyline. And even if you can't find it, there's a nav point on the top of it, so you don't have to know where any of these buildings are. You just get a little bit of a head start if you do know where the locations are. Based on the dialogue, they will kind of give away where the objective is going to be if you know where all of them are, and you play this way too many times like I have. But we have the objectives, or the nav points rather, showing us the objectives, so we don't really need to know unless we're playing Lasso and the blind skull's on. So we're going to take these guys out. This one's easy enough. Just kill all the enemies on the roof here. There's 2 fuel rod turrets along with some infantry, and then you could head to the next objective. I'm going to head to the Virant Telecom Tower, which is right in front of us here with the orange paneling, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video. The reason I do this is because if the Virant Telecom Tower is selected for us next, we are going to be able to get a jump on the enemies coming out of the door. So if you're very close to it when those doors open up, you could actually kill all of them before they even get a chance to walk out. And even if the hospital is the next objective, and this one is not the next objective, we could at least take out these turrets while we're waiting for the next objective to be assigned to us. So it looks like this was actually assigned to us, and we weren't quite close enough to get the jump on those enemies as they came out of the doorway, but we'll kill them all the same, and we'll take out these 2 fuel rod turrets as well. And it's easy enough. Just kind of take your time. I almost got hit by that fuel rod as I said that. And we're just going to land over here. You don't have to kill all of the enemies, just kill most of them. The gunners will kind of hang out outside here and just kill all the remaining enemies while you go inside here. We'll go over here, and we could actually run past these hunters if we choose to, or we could just kind of jump down and then go back the way we came, kind of, but on the bottom floor. And there's going to be a section over here with jetpacks. So this is one of the locations where you could grab a jetpack, and we could actually use this in this room to kind of bypass a lot of the hunters. So we're going to grab rocket ammo from the bottom middle of the floor here. Then we're going to jetpack up, activate this comm jammer, and then we're immediately going to back up and kind of jetpack away so we could avoid the fire from the hunters. And we're just going to keep going. And I like to jetpack to kind of throw the aim of the hunters off. I'm like dodging not only left and right, but kind of up and down as well. Just keep zigzagging back and forth left and right once you get on your feet up here, because sometimes the hunters will continue to fire at you even though you're kind of far away at this point. And you can see one of the fuel rod blasts from the hunters actually went right by me as I was zigzagging. So that's a fuel rod that would have definitely hit me right in the back if I did not zigzag. So there's an example right there of why you should do what I just said. But we've made it out of the Telecom Tower, aka Club Herrera, and we're just going to hang around in the sky and wait for our next objective, which is one of the 2 side missions selected randomly from the 12 potential side missions. So you can see there's a bunch of Banshees in the area. I'm going to try to get away from these guys, but when I'm running away from Banshees, you'll notice that I'm not just like turning around and, you know, putting my back to them and running away. I'm actually flying away from them, but also facing them, so I can actually keep shooting at them and take them down as I run away. So that is definitely a better way to go about taking care of these Banshees and surviving the skyline of New Alexandria. But as you can see, we've unfortunately been assigned one of the 3 Buck escort missions. If you didn't know that, there's actually 3 different scenarios for picking up Buck and kind of escorting them across the city of New Alexandria. And whichever scenario you're given depends on, or determines rather, where you pick them up and where you lead them to. So you're going to bring them from point A to B, or C to D, or E to F, depending on which scenario you are assigned. So this scenario, you pick them up over here, and we actually have to bring them to the Nemolos Tower, which is the big burning building. It's on fire. You can see it in the distance. And unfortunately, you have to follow him the whole time. And it's very slow because I don't know why it's slow. He just drives slow. And he flies along a set path, so you kind of just have to wait for him. And if you get too far away from him, he'll actually just stop entirely and just kind of hover in the air and wait for you to get close to him again, and then he'll start going again. So you can't just fly to the destination and then wait for him to get there, unfortunately. You do have to hang around him. What I like to do, though, is I like to give him a little boost by kind of getting up right behind him and then just flying my Falcon into his Falcon. So we're going to take out these Banshees first because they are shooting at us, and I'm not a fan of that. So back up, and you can see I'm flying backwards and shooting at them like I mentioned earlier. That's definitely the best way to go. And then I'm going to go back into Buck's rear and kind of just nudge him a little bit to get him to move a little faster. This does help it go a little faster. It's not going to go entirely faster because he is still on a set path. So if you kind of get off path a little bit, he will kind of fly back and try to go, you know, get on his path again. So you want to kind of give him that opportunity if he does kind of start flying away from your nudging. So you can see he's turning now. We'll just let him do what he wants. And at this point, yeah, we're just kind of forcing him to kind of fly a little faster so we can get this over with. But if you get the Buck mission where you actually have to take out a Phantom, that one you could do a lot quicker. You could just kind of pick him up where he's supposed to be picked up, which is behind the Virant Telecom Tower where the hunters are, with the Club Herrera section. And you actually just, you know, activate it, go to him so he starts flying along his path, and then you just fly straight to the end, which is to the left of the big loop building where we had our first side objective. That building directly to the left of that loop building is actually where the Phantom is going to spawn. So you could actually just fly ahead and take out that Phantom, and once you do that, you could actually move on. The side mission will complete even though he hasn't even gotten there yet. So that's a way you could speed that up. But all the other side objectives are much faster than this, and they could even be sped up if you play them kind of how you're not supposed to play them. There's some objectives that are like, hey, there's hunters on this building, go save the Marines or the civilians from the hunters, or some elites or some brutes or some jackals on a rooftop. And you could actually kill the AI, your friendly AI, on the rooftop instead of killing the Covenant, and that will actually get the mission to complete faster, because instead of the Pelican coming in to evac the Marines or the civilians, which takes some time, it will actually just end. It'll just be like, oh, well, I guess we couldn't save them, moving on to the next objective. So it's kind of like in Halo CE, where you have to round up a bunch of the Marines in the second mission, Halo, called Halo, and you could just do the same thing. You just kill your friendly AI that you're trying to actually save, and then Cortana will just be like, well, I guess we did our best. We're going to move on to that next group of Marines. So same thing applies here for some of the side objectives. But we've been assigned the hospital now at this point. This is the toughest of the 3 main objectives. So we're going to actually tackle it how it's intended to be tackled for the most part. There is a way you could actually get a Banshee in here and just kind of fly to the end and then glitch your way out. But we're not going to do that trick here. We're just going to do it straight up. It's a little tough to pull off. You got to get a Banshee and everything. And then you got to maneuver it in certain ways. But we're going to head into here. We're going to take out these 4 grunts. Sometimes they're sleeping, sometimes they're not, which is annoying. And we're just going to take these guys out as quickly as we can, and then we're going to grab a needler. One of them is bound to have a needler, so grab that, and then we could use it to take out the engineer, which is usually just hanging out at the top of the ceiling here. So I jumped down here, and I should not have thrown a nade at those jackals. You could actually take them out from, if I move to the left or the right more, I could actually take out this engineer up here more easily. There we go. Just crouch right there. Easy enough. And now all of the jackals and grunts down below will not have any shield anymore, which is great. Health on the wall right there. But you'll notice that I actually exchanged my rockets for the needler, so I took note of that. I didn't just throw them down accidentally. I take the rockets and I put them at the top of the stairs here, so on my way back up I could grab them. They won't despawn or anything. They'll be there when you get back. So I like to leave them up here because we're not going to use them down below. I like to use the needler and various other weapons down below here. So we're just going to follow the pathways down, kind of spiral down the stairs and ramps here, and we're going to take out all these enemies as we go. The grunts obviously just headshot them for the kill with the DMR, and the jackals, you want to shoot them in the little notch on the side of their shield, and it gets them to kind of stagger back and expose their head. Then you could land the headshot to kill them, and we're just going to do that for all these guys. There's going to be one brute downstairs, so we're just going to shoot his helmet off with the DMR and then pop him in the head for the headshot. So just kind of take your time, no rush here. We're not speed running or anything. So just kind of look around, you check your radar and everything. There should be a handful of grunts down below. There's various places along the way with DMR ammo, so take a look around. There's some right here by this guy, and there's actually some right below the ramp I'm on right now as well. And we're going to just take these guys out, and it looks like we have only a couple left, so we're almost done with this section. What I'm going to do is I'm going to juggle 4 weapons into the next section. I'm going to juggle a needler and a needle rifle. The needle rifle is being held by that brute that we just took out, so grab that. Basically a needler, a needle rifle, and plasma pistol is what we want to bring to the next section. So those 4 weapons, so I'm going to juggle 2 of them up through the doorway here, and then we'll have all 4 with us. So plasma pistol, needler, needle rifle, and DMR. Bring all those. It's going to be a party. So we just got all of them out here, and I'm going to use the needle rifle to take out as many brutes as I can. You need to only shoot the brutes 3 times with the needle rifle to get a super combine explosion, and that will take them out. So it's pretty easy to take these guys out from far away. And you can see I'm missing shots, as I mentioned that it's easy. So they'll go into armor lock sometimes, or they'll just try to dive out of the way because they know about super combines. They're aware. They don't want to be super combined, so they do that to try to stop it sometimes, but we're going to be insistent about it. I'm going to exchange my needle rifle for the needler at this point and juggle the plasma pistol up as well. So I have the DMR in my back pocket, juggling the needler and the plasma pistol, accidentally picking up a spike rifle on the way. But we got the weapons we want now, and we're going to keep juggling them up here as the brutes kind of retreated since we kind of killed a bunch of their buddies up here. So we have the needler now. We're going to finish these guys off and just super combine them as you would with a needle rifle, but you have to be closer, obviously, with a needler. So we're going to take out the engineer as well. There's one in the back there kind of giving some shields to the brutes, so we don't want that. So take out that engineer with the DMR, and then we could finish these guys off. And there we go. 2 brutes remained, and they both went down. So we could go up here. There's a health pack on the wall to the left right there, and there's also a plasma pistol. There's a DMR right here for some ammo if you want it. I'm going to look for my plasma pistol. I forgot where I put it, so I'm just going to skip ahead here because I just look around for a while and I can't find it. But I do find it eventually. I'll just skip ahead to that part. All right, I found it. It's here on the ground. Remember where you put your toys, kids. You want to, be able to play with them when you want. So just head over here. Now that we have a DMR and a plasma pistol, we're done with the needles and all the needles. I'll just say needles because we're done with the needler and needle rifle. But in the corner here, there's going to be a DMR if you need more ammo. There's also some more on the kind of on the ground over here by the kind of Covenant shield barricade type thing over there. There's health on the wall here. Activate the comm jammer once you're all set, and we're going to run up to that section where we were, where we grabbed some DMR ammo initially. There's this ramp on the left. We're going to head up this ramp, and we're going to move forward, but not too far forward. There's the wall here on the left with the health pack, and we're going to kind of cut in at the end of this wall here and just kind of hang out right here with our back up against the wall now. But oftentimes, which is occurring right now, you'll see that they will not move that much. You can see they're just kind of standing there and taking it. It only takes 5 shots to pop their shield, and then 1 more shot to finish them with a headshot. So even if they do start moving around, you will be able to take them out pretty quickly because they don't have that strong of a shield. They kind of exchange their shield for maneuverability with the jetpack, so it's kind of a give and take there. But you can see they're kind of reacting to the Marine, I think, a little. So they start freaking out a little bit. This Marine is not as helpful as he thinks he is. But we have plenty of ammo. There's those 3 DMRs basically in this area, so we should have plenty of ammo, even if you're not great at shooting. And another tip, if you're not great at shooting, is you could also just kind of wait for them to land and just kind of be standing there before you start shooting them. You don't have to shoot them while they're kind of flying through the air. So just take the opportunity when they present an opportunity. And see this guy right here? He's just standing there. How easy is that? Shoot him in the head. So that's how you do that. And you could always crouch when you're shooting as well. That retains your accuracy more. It lessens the bloom effect, so you are able to shoot faster and still retain accuracy with your DMR or whatever weapon you're using. So we're going to move forward here now. We want to have the plasma pistol ready. We're going to duck around the corner, and there's going to be 2 skirmishers at least. So we're just going to pop them in the head. And then there's going to be a concussion rifle wielding elite, and he's pretty far back this time. Usually he's more towards the center. So we're going to have to close the gap a little more than we would normally. But we're just going to noob combo him, which is overcharge plasma pistol to collapse his shields, and then pop him in the head with the DMR or any other headshot weapon to finish him off. But we have the DMR ready here, so we're going to use that. And then we'll head back up the spiral staircases, and we will be out of this section. But be aware that there's still some skirmishers above us, so as we go up, we're going to take those guys out, but it's easy enough with a headshot. And remember to grab the rockets on your way out, because they are going to be a big help for this last section. We dragged them all the way through the whole mission, so we don't want to forget them right at the end here. Just leave them in a spot you're going to remember, in front of the door maybe, or at the top of the stairs like I did. And we're going to grab the Falcon one last time, and we're going to fly to the top of the Olympic Tower over here. That's the tallest building in the city. It's in the center here. It's going to be surrounded by 6 shade turrets, which are going to be sitting atop buildings that are surrounding the big building here. So normally you actually finish this mission by obviously using the Falcon to take out the shade turrets, and that's how the game was designed and everything. It's what you're supposed to do. There's a bunch of Banshees and Phantoms flying around, shooting at you and everything. So it's kind of intense. But if you have a super weak Falcon at this point, it's not going to be the greatest experience of your life, because you could be grazed by a couple plasma bolts and then just blow up. So we're going to avoid all of that pain and heartache by just landing on top of the building here and then rocket sniping all of the shade turrets. And it's actually going to be easier than you think, or easier than it sounds, or both. Whatever. We're going to land on top here like so. It's pretty high up. It takes a little bit to fly up here. But once we get up here, we're going to start firing at these shade turrets, and it's pretty easy to aim. I'm actually going to use my rockets, and I'm going to line up the bottom line of the reticle. You can see there's a series of horizontal lines going down the center of my rocket reticle, and I'm going to line up the nav point over the shade. You can see there's a downward pointing arrow on all of the shade turrets, and I'm going to line up that tip, the bottom tip of that downward pointing arrow, and I'm going to have it just touch the top of the lowest horizontal line on my targeting reticle. So you're going to see I'm going to do that here as well. And for this shot, it's kind of tough, because you want to kind of nudge yourself ever so slightly out over the edge here. You could see that I could barely see the wall below me, so that's how far out you want to be. So kind of look down until you can see the wall of the tower, and then you know you have enough clearance to make these shots. So number 2 and 3 shots that I took, those are the ones where you want to kind of edge your way out. And then these shots are easy. You don't have to kind of skirt the edge or anything at all for shots 4 and 5 here. And the first shot we took was easy enough as well. But you can see I'm lining up that downward pointing arrow with the lowest line on my reticle. So it's pretty easy to line it up. And you can see my Falcon buddies apparently bailed out and survived. They're just chilling on the skyscraper here with me. But for shade number 6, we actually want to go down this somewhat slanted staircase type thing on the top of the skyscraper here. We're going to get down here to a point where we can't really walk down anymore, but we're going to jump up onto this light gray area, and we can walk out to the edge and see this shade turret easily enough. And we're going to do the same exact thing, lining it up, the nav point with the bottom of the lowest horizontal line on your targeting reticle, and we're going to watch that guy blow up. And then we're pretty much done. And a big reason why this works is the fact that Banshees don't really attack you at all when you're outside of the Falcon. If you're in the Falcon, they love you. They want to be all over you. It's crazy. But when you're out of the Falcon, when you're just on a skyscraper at the top, just hanging out, they don't really pay much attention to you. They might shoot a couple shots at you, but nothing crazy. And you can see I just want to get to this point now. I kind of walked straight forward to these antennas, or antennae? Antenna? What's the plural of antenna? Who knows? But anyway, you can see I actually moved through the darker colored ones. Those don't actually have any physical presence. They're just visual. And then the lighter ones, the white ones I got stuck on, those ones you could actually count on being physical and stopping you from falling off. But once the pad is deployed, just wait for some dialogue, and Kat will say something along the lines of, "The pad is deployed, come land and hang out with us," whatever. We got a bonfire with s'more fixins. It's going to be great. At that point, you could just kind of fall off, but you want to jetpack down. If you just simply fall off, you will actually die from the fall timer. It will think you're falling in a bottomless pit and just kill you. So you can see I jetpacked 2 or 3 times there to just break my fall. and then I can nicely land on the pad here and trigger the cutscene, and that is the end of the mission. So a super easy way to finish the final objective there. That's it for this one, and I'll see you next time when we tackle the package on Legendary. Thanks for watching, guys. If you found that video helpful, be sure to click on the scorpion icon to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. You could also check out some related guides by clicking on the videos on screen, and you can find links in the description for other social media links of mine. Stay tuned for more Halo guides, and I'll see you in the next one.